Hey, how's it going guys? Welcome to our review of Death Tales, now available on Nintendo Switch. We're gonna tell you everything you need to know before you play. But before I do, make sure to hit subscribe and the notification bell for more video game reviews every single week. You're not gonna wanna miss it. Although it released earlier this year for PC, Death Tales was a game that largely fell under my radar, and I'm really not sure why, because on paper, it seems pretty cool. Ostensibly a 2D hack-and-slash beat-em-up hybrid, you're put in the role of a rogue reaper, who, after regaining some of your human morality, is tasked with stopping a vengeful death from enslaving the souls of the dead. With a fresh new release on Nintendo Switch, every emo bone in my body was excited to explore a macabre story, an equally grim world, and some classic arcade-style action. But would it live up to expectations? Watch on to find out. In a sentence, no. It most certainly doesn't live up to expectation, with the gameplay being particularly underwhelming. At its core, it's a mixture of light platforming elements and classic beat-em-up action. However, they're both executed so poorly. Jumping feels floaty and imprecise, leading me to fall to my death more than a few times, which instantly chucks you back to the last checkpoint. It's very annoying. The combat, which will comprise most of your playing time, feels equally muddy. Hitbox detection is just all over the place. Sometimes I jump down for a direct aerial attack, only for no damage to register at all. But naturally, I would suffer loss of life when I'd clearly dodged an enemy's blow, because of course that would happen. Look, I'm all for games being challenging, but when they're fundamentally broken, it's just masochistic to keep bothering to play. Even if it all worked as intended, the combat is still painfully dull. You only have two basic attacks, and you'll spend most of the time spamming these until the enemy falls. There's no real strategy needed, nor could you follow one even if you wanted to. There are no visible enemy health bars, meaning you don't know if they're on death's door or just nursing a flesh wound. This means you have no choice but to quite literally hit and hope that they'll die before you. Things do become a little more interesting once you begin to unlock power-ups and upgrades. Adversaries feel a lot more manageable and, to be honest, fairer once you have access to projectile attacks. But even this only really elevates proceedings from annoying to passable. You'll still follow the same rinse and repeat formula of clearing an area of baddies before moving on to the next area to clear baddies. To its credit, Death Tales' art style is very impressive, conveying a gothic, grim and macabre tone without ever feeling drab. Rather, it exudes a vibrancy that borders on psychedelic, rich with saturated colours and otherworldly designs. However, after a few stages, it did start to feel a little samey, and doesn't offer much in the way of level variety. This isn't particularly offensive, it's just a shame that the initial wow factor brought on by the visuals quickly and quite unnecessarily wears off. To wrap up, Death Tales feels like a missed opportunity. It has a really interesting hook, and with a bit more development, the worlds it portrays could have been equally enchanting. But it's let down by lackluster gameplay, making it feel like a chore to play through. If you're a die-hard fan of the beat-em-up genre, it might be worth a punt, but for everyone else, it's really hard to recommend. But what did you think of Death Tales on Nintendo Switch? Please let me know in the comments below, I would love to read your thoughts. But in the meantime, please hit subscribe for plenty more video game reviews coming very soon. See you next time.